let's talk about one of the most important parts of styling your app in Draftbit, the layout section under the slash tab. But before diving in, we should first talk quickly about parent and child components. It is also one of the most important concepts in layout building. Parent components are containers, like a view or scroll view. Think of them like a box, and the things inside that box are the children. Right now, this view is the parent, and these image and text elements inside are the children. But you can also nest components. A parent can have a child, and that child can also be a parent to its own children. Why does this matter? Because style and layout are mostly controlled at the parent level. So let the parent handle structure, and the children will follow the rules. All the layout styles like direction, align, justify are applied to the parent, and they control how the children behave. Let's make this layout easier to understand visually. I'll give some height to this view component and add some background. Under Flex Items section, we have Direction. This controls whether your child components are laid out in a row, meaning side by side, or a column, like stacked, like it is now. So let's change it to row. See, the children now sit in a row because the parent is telling them to do that. Now if we enable the reverse, it will flip the order of those elements. Next, Align manages how child components are positioned on the cross axis. Flex Start aligns children to the start of the cross axis. Center aligns all children to the center of the cross axis. And Flex End aligns children to the end of the cross axis. Let's explore this behavior in the row direction too. So Flex Start align the children to the start, centered, and align to the end of the cross-axis. Stretch stretches children to fill the parent container along the cross-axis. We can show it for the image component actually. Right now, since image component has a static value for both width and height, it's not going to stretch. Let's first set it to stretch. And now let's go to the image component, remove the static value from the width, and set it to auto. Stretches horizontally to fill out its parent. What about row direction? If we go to the parent view and change the direction to row, now for the image, we need to remove the height and set it as auto so that it can freely stretches along the cross axis. And what about baseline? It aligns the children by the line where the text sits in a row direction. It's used for clean alignment across text elements of different sizes in general. So I think it's better to show you in row direction with different text components. I'll just hide this. Change the size of the first text. And by the way, let's change the direction to row. If I change it to the baseline, now you can see that both text elements are sitting in one line. Now let's talk about Justify. It arranges the items along the main axis. So you can center them, you can push them to one side, or spread them out. So let's center them first. For space between and space around, I think I'm gonna use two image components. And let's provide some more height to the parent view. So if I use space between, it will leave no space at the start or end of the container. Let me duplicate this one to have 3 of them. You can see the equal spacing between items. And what about space around? It puts equal space again, but this time around each item, like this. This means the space on the ends is half the space between items. And spaced evenly, you will see equal distribution of space everywhere. between items, and at the edges. You'll see the same behavior in the raw direction. Right now, they have equal space everywhere, between items and at the edges. And with space around, you can see the equal space around each item. And with space between, we see no space at the start or end of the container. Now let's remove all these styles. Gap setting adds spacing between items. We also have the text element. You see the same spacing applied between each item. So using these properties means you don't have to hard code padding or margins. Your layout becomes clean and automatically adjusts as screen size changes. So for instance, go back to our space around and visit different screen sizes. So this is the core of responsive design. Next, we will be focusing on selected item and content. Thank you for watching. Happy building!